Good morning. This is an introduction to probability. This is the website that I use to create this activity. It's a coin flip activity. Okay, here we go. So if you toss the coin, just once, what is the possible values for the proportions of heads? All right, so let's toss the coin one time. I get tails. Let's toss the coin again. I get heads. Okay, so if I continue this process, and the first time I got 0 heads out of one toss. The second time I got heads, so I got 1 head out of one toss. So if I change those to percents, I have 0% to 100%. And then if I continue and toss 10 more times, I still only get 100, 0, 100, 0. There's no other values that I get. I either get a heads or I don't. So the range of data is between 0% and 100%. I either get a heads or I don't get a heads. Okay, so if I toss the coin 15 times, here we go, here's the first example, and I count up the number of heads. So let's see, let's count. There is 1 heads here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on this trial, the experimental probability is 8 heads out of 15 flips. And if I change that to a percentage, it's 53%. So both of these values, 8 out of 15 and 53%, are both probabilities. And if I continue the process, and I did it 10 more times, I did 10 trials, I got 46% heads, I got 60% heads, I got 73% heads. I even did it one time and got 86% heads, and then one time I had 20% heads. So if I look at what my range in data in percentage is, my lowest was 20, and my biggest was 86. Okay, so now let's toss the coin 115 times. Okay, so I'm not going to count. I used the table this time. There was 57 heads out of a total number of 115 tosses. So that's where I got the 57 and the 115 right here. And if I change that to a percentage, that's 49.6%, which is about what I think it would be, because in theory, the probability I get heads in theory is 1 out of 2. So now I'm approaching 50% like I thought it would be, right? Okay, so here we go. If I do this 10 more times, I get values. Let's see, the smallest one was about here at 39%, 45 heads out of 115. And my biggest percentage was 59% heads, and that was 68 out of 115. All right, if I do it 550 times, so 10 times, okay, I did the probability, went through and found the number of heads divided by 550 total tosses. And I got a range of data from between 44%, which is about right here, and 54 was right here, okay? And one last time, I flipped the coin 5,000 times, and I used the probability simulator to do this. And if I look for my smallest percentage to my biggest percentage, I'm at 48.8 to 52.1. Okay, so you guys starting to notice a pattern here? So if I look at my ranges of percentages, when I flipped it one time, I either had 100 or a 0% chance. When I flipped it 15 times, my percentages ranged from 20 to 86. When I flipped it 115 times, my percentages ranged from 39 to 59. When I flipped it 5,000 times, I was 48.8, so 49% to 52%. What am I surrounding? 50%. Because in theory, the probability I get a heads is 1 out of 2. So it's not that I get a heads, it's not a 50% probability that I get a heads every time. The probability is 50% when I flip thousands and thousands and thousands of times. In the long run, my probability is the 50%. Okay, so if I toss a coin 400 times with a 0.5 probability for heads, which is more likely to happen? A, getting exactly 200 heads, or B, getting within a few percent of 200 heads. And you can see that I already have the B circled. I'm never going to get, well, that's not true. I shouldn't say never. It's possible that I get exactly 200 heads, but it's more probable that I get within a few percent of 200 heads. Okay, here we go. Guys, have a good day. Let me know if you have any questions, okay?